The power of faith creates the reality you desire. Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie believed in something that few people truly understand. External reality is always a reflection of internal reality. For him, faith was not religion in the traditional sense, nor a passive act of waiting for something to happen. Faith was an active mental force, a deep conviction that shapes decisions, behaviors, and consequently results. Carnegie said that a man becomes what he consistently believes, even when he cannot yet see it. He observed this throughout his life. He saw people with fewer resources, less technical intelligence, and fewer opportunities prosper, while others, apparently more prepared, remained stagnant. The difference was not in circumstances, but in the silent belief each person carried about themselves and the world. Carnegie understood that the mind accepts as truth what is repeated with conviction and begins to act as if it were already real. Faith for Carnegie was the ability to sustain an internal vision even when the external world still offers no proof. He left Scotland poor, without guarantees and without privileges, yet he carried an unshakable conviction that he was not destined for mediocrity. That faith did not eliminate difficulties, but it guided choices. While many reacted to limitations, Carnegie acted as someone who already belonged to a higher level of responsibility and construction. He believed the human mind is creative by nature. Everything that exists in the material world began as an idea sustained by enough faith to withstand doubt. Companies, systems, fortunes, and legacies were first born in the mind of someone who believed before any external confirmation. For Carnegie, those who do not believe cannot sustain effort. Those who cannot sustain effort never build anything meaningful. A central point of Carnegie's philosophy was that faith shapes daily behavior. It is not about believing once, but about acting every day as someone who trusts the future they are building. True faith shows itself in difficult decisions, in silent discipline, and in persistence when results have not yet appeared. He said many people claim to believe, but live as if they expect failure. This internal inconsistency creates fragile realities. Carnegie also warned that the absence of faith does not appear only as pessimism, but as constant hesitation. Fear of making mistakes, fear of appearing ambitious, fear of moving forward before being ready. For him, these fears are symptoms of weakened faith. Those who trust their ability to learn, adjust, and grow do not freeze before the unknown. They move forward with awareness, but they move forward. Another powerful aspect of faith, according to Carnegie, is that it reorganizes perception. When someone believes they are capable of building something greater, they begin to see opportunities where they once saw obstacles. They start to interpret challenges as tests, not as signals to quit. The mind begins to filter reality differently. This is not illusion. It is cognitive direction. Faith directs focus, and focus directs action. Carnegie believed faith must be protected. Environments, conversations, and repeated thoughts can weaken it or strengthen it. That is why he was extremely selective about what he consumed mentally. He avoided defeatist narratives, constant complaints, and people who normalize stagnation. He said faith is silent, but fragile when exposed to environments contaminated by disbelief. He also argued that faith does not eliminate planning. On the contrary, true faith leads to organization. Those who believe in the future prepare for it. Carnegie planned, structured, and rigorously reviewed decisions because he believed what he was building deserved care. For him, faith without action is merely desire, and action without faith is merely exhaustion. Another essential point was patience. Carnegie understood that true faith does not demand haste. It sustains the process. Many people abandon projects not because they failed, but because they could not endure the time required for reality to align with the internal vision. He said time is an ally of disciplined faith and an enemy of superficial faith. Over the course of his life, Carnegie realized that faith also shapes character. Those who believe only in the outcome may become corrupted along the way. Those who believe in purpose uphold values even when no one is watching. He said wealth built without faith in principles becomes unstable because it loses the foundation that sustains it under pressure. In the end, Andrew Carnegie did not attribute his success solely to work, strategy, or intelligence. He attributed it to the ability to sustain a firm internal conviction while the world still seemed uncertain. He transformed faith into direction, direction into action, and action into reality. The power of faith for Carnegie lies not in waiting for the world to change. It lies in changing the way you think, decide, and act until the world has no choice but to respond. When the mind changes level, reality follows. Always. And that is the lesson that remains relevant. The reality you desire begins with the faith you sustain every day. When no one is watching, when there are still no results, when the path seems long. Because, in the end, the external world merely confirms what the mind has already decided to be true.